This is really considered the Super Bowl of chainsaw carving in North America.
When we had $10,000 in at the end of February, we knew we couldn't go ahead. We couldn't start booking carvers, we couldn't start booking judges and spending money because we didn't have the money.
Well, it would have been a huge loss for Chetwynd.
To see Chetwynd not happen would be devastating.
It starts the same as any other year for arguably the biggest chainsaw carving championship in the world. Carvers are greeted by event sponsors, government officials, and members of the general public. The carvers catch up with each other. Most come into the competition already knowing one another. Some are pretty good pals.
Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the carvers. The 2015 Chetwynd International Chainsaw.
After some words by event organizers, carvers draw their logs for the competition. Following the reception dinner, the carvers who come from all across the globe rush outside to the competition grounds. They want to see their logs. At this point, they can trade locations or even logs with one another.
What do you got? What you got? Number 8, the DCR one. That's a nice log.
The scene has a similar feel to A Christmas Morning. Children running downstairs and seeing what jolly old St. Nick brought them this year, comparing what all the other kids got. Hopefully no disappointments.
It's a little small.
The big difference is these are grown men drooling over a piece of wood. Some of the best wood a carver can get their hands on.
I'm super stoked. Yeah, look at this. It's great. It's some of the best wood I've carved, from last year and that sort of thing, and it's going to work really good with my design. Fit everything in there. I was a little bit worried about some of the smaller logs, but with this, that's just going to, it'll be fine. It'll be great.
The sun will set. In less than 12 hours, the carvers will begin sculpting.
There's a board.
Oh, there's a light. Gotta be 8 o'clock. I know. Got a selfie. Let's go! Get her done!
The loud horn followed by the revving of chainsaws signifies that the competition has officially begun. The carvers now have 35 hours to complete their sculptures. Crowds will gather as the sculptures take shape. A lot of questions on whether or not Mother Nature will be kind to the carvers and event organizers. There's fear that the rain will chase spectators away from the outdoor competition. The carvers will battle the expected rain throughout the event. Jordan Anderson is from Alaska. The 29-year-old has 9 years of carving experience under his belt. He's turning his lumber into something fishy, 2 swordfish called Sailing the Riptide.
The cool thing about this competition is that the theme is open, so you'll see a lot of different things. It's not just, you won't see just sea life or just bears or just eagles. You'll see a few of those things, but then you'll see angels and, monsters and all kinds of things like that.
Ryan Cook is from BC. He's one of the most notable carvers at the competition. Well known for his work on Carver Kings, his design, Eye on the Prize, also takes us underwater. This is the second invite to the competition. This year, he's putting more pressure on himself and his work.
I'm a little bit stressed because this is a really challenging piece. I mean, I've never done a full human as I am doing a human, and it is challenging. And I had to cut the legs off because the legs were too thin, because I misjudged my template a little bit, and from there, scratch that, use the wood that I had. It actually works great.
Well known for his impressive work throughout the competitions in Chetwynd is Chris Foltz from Oregon. He is the defending champion. This year his piece is called The Monsters We Make.
I don't like to do something similar to what I did the year before, just for me personally, I like to really, I wouldn't do anything with sharp edges like a bug or a exoskeleton creature this year, because that was last year.
As day one wraps up, Ontario native Steve Kinzora is feeling positive. He feels he had a great start to the competition, 10 hours of carving, and it's already looking out of this world.
Actually, I've always enjoyed watching things with aliens and stuff like that, and probably believe there has to be something out there besides this, and I've had some really good luck in the last little while, so you never know.
At the end of the day, carvers go to their hotel rooms to get cleaned up and prepared for day two. For Jordan Anderson, after 10 hours of carving, it's time to relax.
Oh yeah, when I get off the carving lot, I'm not even thinking about carving. I'm thinking about family, friends, you know, my girlfriend, whatever. You know, just, you know, it's the wind down time. I'm done thinking about the complexity of the design of the sculpture and how I'm going to get it blocked out and all this stuff. You know, day one was good. It's all fine. I'm just here to chill and relax.
Coming from the U.S., Anderson isn't exactly connected to his family from a communication standpoint.
You know, well, over here in Canada, I don't get cell service that much, but, you know, I'll text message everybody throughout the day and just let them know how everything's going. And if I get some internet access, I'll throw something on Facebook so they can all keep track of me and whatnot. But no, I usually will just drop a line here and there and let everybody know how it's going. You know, like, hey, the carving's going good. You know, I've got the thing blocked out and whatnot, and everybody will just, you know, let me know what they're doing.
The sounds of chainsaws are met with a light rain at the beginning of day two. Ryan Cook's sculpture is too tall for the cover he was provided with for the competition. Cook and his assistant quickly craft an alternative cover to shelter his sculpture from the rain. The rain won't hurt the carving, but it can affect the staining process, which would typically be the final step for most sculptures.
It's kind of a big deal that it started to rain now because, you know, my sculpture's so big. So the problem is that if it gets wet, I can't sand it. And as you can tell, the body is super fine sanded, you know. So Christian right away, 7 a.m., built up the tarp, then we took it down because it stopped raining in the morning, and then all of a sudden it started raining, so it was windy and we were pulling it over our heads, and it was just like, non-stop. But you know what? The carving's gonna get done because this is the big time, it's the big show, and you know, I'm freaking out inside, but I'm a lot more collected outside than I was last year.
Meanwhile, Aussie Robbie Bast is comfortable, sheltered from the rain. His carving, Oh Michelle, doesn't have vertical constraints, but it does test your knowledge on reptile anatomy. He's carving turtles having sex.
Yeah, well, to be honest, this was for a bet. I'm going to do 2 tortoises mating. I sent a picture to Ryan Cook. He said, what are you doing for Chetwynd? I just, for and giggles, I just sort of sent him a picture of 2 tortoises mating. I said, do that. And he said, I'll give you $100 if you do that, man. And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Jeff Samandowski has his own reptile in the works. It's a darker piece called Constricting Thoughts. Along with the snake, there's a skull underneath a raven. Samandowski says coming in 3rd last year, he has a good idea on what the judges will be looking for.
Well, it's always a steep competition, so you always got to try to do something different. I normally do a lot of wildlife and realism, so I wanted to kind of take that and then branch off into something completely different than that. So I'm working on some ravens, skulls, and and snakes.
Japanese carver Hikaru Kodama is back once again, hungry for the $5,000 in prize money for a first-place finish. He has an impressive list of accomplishments on his resume. This year his sculpture is called Symbol of Militant Goddess. As the end of the day approaches, Kodama still has a lot of work to do if he wants a top finish, along with the cash. The reward is serious cash, but the title of a first-place finish is more rewarding for the carvers. That being said, the mood around the competition doesn't appear that serious. When the carvers are together, there's joking around and a lot of laughs.
That was inappropriate! I'm trying to do an interview here.
Don't! Ow! The phrase family reunion has been tossed around in previous years, becoming a cliche for stories being told around this competition, but it's accurate. The sense of camaraderie between the carvers is incomparable. This is an event based on individual efforts, but the carvers help each other out for unselfish reasons, whether it's suggesting ideas or lending equipment. However, carvers come in expecting a top finish.
Oh yeah, we all have our own styles and our own things. As long as, you know, when competition starts coming around, we start talking about ideas, and we actually even help each other out if we can, you know, say, hey man, why don't you try it like this? I mean, it's a competition, but in all, we all want to see each other carve the best piece we can.
You know, it is a competition. We're all trying to put on our A game and do our best, but at the same time, we're not really dog eat dog over here. It's more, oh, that's a great piece, I really like the way it looks, but you know, you're not really lying either because they're phenomenal.
The clock winds down on day 2. Bob King from Washington is feeling good about his piece, The Space Between Heaven and Hell. It's coming along faster than he was expecting.
We're just a little over halfway done now, and so I honestly didn't expect to be as far as I am right now, and that's a really good thing because tough field of competitors and I need to stay ahead of them, so that gives me some time to just keep adding more detail and more stuff that just really grabs the spectator and the judges.
Tourists of the event, more importantly to Chetwynd, have been watching the developments of the carvings very closely. Some even battled the rain to get a glimpse of the art. The judges for the event haven't left the grounds all competition. Jerry Schieffer, a Milwaukee native, is the designated head judge. He agreed to talk to us on what the judges will be looking for.
So during our meetings this week, we have 2 meetings with the judges, and they give us a bit of criteria that the wow factor is the number 1. The degree of difficulty, how hard it was to do with their saws, how many open spaces, were they going to hit another part, did they attach things, effectiveness of their design. Craftsmanship, how well did they do it? Correctness of form, if they're using human form and different stuff. And last one, most important, is the use of the woods and integrity, strength.
With all the different chainsaw carving championships around the world in North America, what makes Chetwynd so special?
There's many different reasons. This place brings in some of the top talent in the industry. They take time out to put those carvings up and down the street that draws a lot of company. And with the competition being so high, that draws the people in here. They have a nice payout for prize money. And bring in some, they treat us so well with the motels. There's travel fees all the carvers get. And even though this place is so remote, the way they treat everybody has made it to the point. But it's the level of competition that makes it such a sweet. This is really considered the Super Bowl of chainsaw carving in North America.
Early in the morning of day 3, Robbie Bass, the Aussie, is still battling jet lag. The coffee helps.
Yeah, the coffee's not gonna work.
Past the halfway point outside the championship, his mind never really leaves his sculpture.
Well, constantly thinking about sculpting, it's always in your head. It's like a teenage boy thinking about sex, you know, it's always there in their head, you know. But yeah, we just sort of swapped that out for, you know, thinking about art, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's always just like it's there in the back of your head all the time.
You mentioned something funny earlier. It's always in the back of your mind, like a teenage boy with sex.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you're doing turtles and anything.
Well, yeah, well, I haven't grown up much, I guess. Yeah, 40 years old going on 17 maybe, I don't know. Yeah, look, it was just fun, really. It was hard up for an idea, and then I like doing animals and that sort of thing, things with lots of detail. I Googled amazing animal pictures, and that's one that came up. And I happened to be talking to Ryan Cook at the time, and I said, yeah, sure.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
What are you doing up?
Oh, sorry. No?
No.
I thought it was 6. Is it time to get up? I'm gonna go get coffee. You want one?
Yeah, man.
Cream and sugar or just black?
Double.
Later.
Thanks, bro.
Come back.
At this point, you'll notice how close some of the carvers are. That means early morning coffee runs.
I can't remember where we're at.
When it comes time to leave, it's a trip down an elevator and meeting in the lobby to sort out rides to the competition grounds.
You riding with us? Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan?
Hello, this is Hans. Your Swedish massage is here. Can we send her up? All right. Later.
I should go and knock.
Chris Foltz hands his keys to Bast. The Aussie is used to driving on the left side of the road, but keeps it on the right side for this trip.
Look at that octopus. What a piece of crap.
As the start of day 3 awaits, there's still some time for more coffee. Let's put it this way. It's the magic for carving magic happening.
Oh yeah.
Day 3's work will reveal who has to rush on day 4 and who has more time to work on the small details. Day 4 is cut down to only 5 hours, referred to as crunch time for the carvers. Jason Emmons hails from Indiana. He's working on a more practical piece called The Challenge. Meanwhile, newcomer Levi Kea is happy with his piece, with time winding down in the competition. He's making a familiar figure, but with a local twist.
Well, I got Kong here. I like to do movable parts. You know, I think I'm starting to get known a bit for that. I like to do a ball and a ball inside a ball, and then I'll string them up. And there's always something moving in my carvings, there's no doubt. Figured I'd do Kong with the log truck since we're here in BC. So we got Kong Lives in BC.
Jeff Samandowski continues his dark, constricting thoughts, adding a burning touch to his creation, a common practice among carvers.
We use torches to, there's 2 parts to it. It gives depth, it adds contrast, and it also helps clean up the wood. A lot of times you could burn and get rid of all those little fuzzies that occur when you're carving.
Organizers' fear of rain becomes a reality for the competition. Day 3 is mixed with rain and clouds, but it doesn't stop the tourists from coming down and checking out the sculptures.
The one with the swordfish.
What do you like about it?
I like the swordfish.
And we saw about this carving, and we thought that's definitely a Canadian culture thing. So we thought we must stop by and have a look at this, and I'm very impressed so far, and looking forward to seeing the finished product.
I've come every year except 1 year, and it's like amazing. I love how they do it. It's amazing. I enjoy it.
Yeah, this is my first year, and it just blows my mind how someone could be that detailed with just starting with a piece of wood.
As day 3 wraps up, Mark Culp's sculpture features the true wilderness of northern BC. At this point, Culp is confident he'll make his deadline for day 4. He has to. Culp has 5 hours left to add a final touch of sanding and add his stain to his sculpture.
I think I'm pretty much right on with the rest of the guys. I think they're all about the same position I'm in. I don't think anybody's actually finished with their piece. They're going to use that few extra hours we got tomorrow. So I don't think I'm behind. I don't think I'm ahead.
30 hours complete, 5 hours left to go. The carvers enter day 4 knowing that they've entered crunch time. Day 4. 5 hours left. Today is Judgment Day. The carvers will put their final touches on their creations, then it's furious staining to put their exclamation mark on their piece of art. Today will be the largest expected crowd with sunny skies in the forecast. In a weekend that has been shadowed with overcast and rainfall, the sun finally breaks through. That's it. The competition is now out of the carvers' hands as the judges make their rounds selecting who takes home the top prize. The carvers will enjoy a quick break before participating in the quick carve competition. More spectators gather along the fence lines as the carvers make sculptures out of a smaller log to be auctioned off in a 1-hour period. If you're looking for a good seat, at this point they're hard to find, but look up. Way up. Kevin Pack has the right idea, capturing the quick carve from the nosebleeds.
Well, we got here and this wasn't planned. We just suddenly realized there wasn't much room down by the fence. So I realized where my trailer was, climbed on it, and good view.
4 1/4 going once, 4 1/4 going twice. I need 450. You're all in, you're all done?
The quick carve wraps up. The pieces are auctioned off, and now it's the moment that the spectators and carvers have been waiting for. After 35 hours of carving, 4 days in Chetwynd, it's now time for the serious hardware, along with the cash, to be handed out.
This year. So the third place winner this year is Jeff Samudowski.
Oh, it feels great. I was just glad to be able to finish. I took third place, which is more than excellent. There was so much great competition. I didn't know how it was going to play out. I was happy to place third, but I think everybody's a winner here.
Second place winner will also get a saw from Husqvarna. So I would like to call up second place winner will be Jordan Anderson. He was carving number 12.
Well, you know, everybody wants, you know, first place in a competition because that's where the big money is and stuff. But, you know, I mean, you get respect from the carvers and the people from the town of Chetwynd or from the district of Chetwynd, and it's just an unmistakable feeling. I mean, I feel so elated right now to be honored in such a way and be a part of such an amazing event. It's just incredible.
So we're just going to call up first place winner this year will be Chris Foltz.
I mean, personally, I thought there was five or six pieces that could have been that were top 3 pieces. I couldn't even imagine trying to judge something like that because I really thought there was 5 or 6 that were really, really good, at least that I liked and that I thought were, you know, it could have gone either way with at least that many. To win Chetwynd is just ridiculous. So pretty awesome, a lot of work, and then to get you know, to get to be the one to get the prize, you know, or one of them is really special.
It's one of the biggest and greatest chainsaw carving events in the world, and thousands of people are drawn to Chetwynd every year to take part. But 2015 is proving to be a difficult year for the Chetwynd International Chainsaw Carving event.
In regional news, lack of sponsorship dollars has put one of the Peace region's biggest events in jeopardy. The loss of the Chetwynd International Chainsaw Carving event would create a huge economic impact both for the community and for the world chainsaw carving circuit. At this time of year, the Chamber has usually secured around $50,000 sponsorship dollars, with the district financing the remaining expenses. This year, however, the Chamber has only managed to secure $10,500 in sponsorship funds. All planning for the competition has ceased.
It seems hard to believe. Mid-March, the event wasn't locked, and it looked like it was going to be canceled. There would be no winners, only losers. No spectators, no tourists. No carvers, no carvings. The turn in the local economy hit the community hard, harder than expected. Funding from sponsorships was nowhere to be found. How could this be? Chetwynd is a community carved on success. That's the slogan. This was an annual event for the past 10 years, one of the biggest in the world, nearly lost.
That would just be devastating. Not just for the carvers, but I think for the community here as well, and the carving community worldwide. To see Chetwynd not happen would be, I don't know, it'd be rough. It'd be really rough.
Right away, everybody who could tried to help out as much as he could with, spreading the word and trying to get it going.
It would be sad if they lost it. It's a great event.
When they miss a year, we don't know if it's going to come back next year. We start booking that spot then elsewhere. There's a lot of things going on during our summer months. We're very busy May, June, July, and August. And so then we just fill the spot with another event, and it's hard to get the people back again. And then it's hard to get the promoters to get the donations back again. So when things have to sit a year, it's not easy to start it back up again.
Tanya Richter is the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce and an event organizer. The competition was $30,000 short, putting the event on halt and in question.
When we had $10,000 in at the end of February, we knew we couldn't go ahead. We couldn't start booking carvers. We couldn't start booking judges and spending money because we didn't have the money. So at a certain point, we decided as a board we have 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get this money in before we're calling it off.
In previous years, the event cost roughly $85,000 to run. This year, the budget was cut to approximately $75,000. The District of Chetwynd contributes $40,000 every year. Their mayor, Merlin Nichols, knows what the event means to the community.
Well, it would have been a huge loss for Chetwynd, not just in the boost to the economy that it brings, but really it would be a huge loss in I believe, morale.
The story on whether or not the carving championship would happen obviously had a happy ending. We just showed you it happened. Organizers made a plea for help. The community answered. In just 10 days, the funding was in. The competition had the green light.
I thought it would take longer. Doing it in a week and a half, raising $30,000 and listening to the community stepping up. It was overwhelming. I was just so thankful for the community, and it just made us know how much they love the event and the support behind it, not only financially that came through volunteering too, to also help us pull through this event.
So I believe in Chetwynd. I believe in that the businesses here and the people here recognize the value that this annual experience has for Chetwynd and the exposure that Chetwynd gets, not just in Chetwynd, but across North America.
Call it a scare. Call it a close call. Use a pun and say the event almost didn't make the cut. It's clear that the event was in jeopardy. The community ensured that there would be a year 11, and the organizers are taking the steps needed to make sure that from years on out, it wouldn't be in question. Call this a story on how you need more than a chainsaw to make something beautiful happen.